Okay, so today we're going to be taking a series of 18 pictures on our typodont today. So this is a patient's right side, this is a patient's left side. First we will start our canine to canine on both arches. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we're going to hop 7, 8, and then 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and then which would be our bite wings would be 15, 16, 17, and 18. So we first start off, like I said, with our maxillary arch, and the way that we're going to want to place our sensor for the first one is we're going to want to place the receptor lateral to the canine. We're gonna want our laterals and our canines in this image. We want to center it to, like I said, lateral canine, just to get both of those images, both of those teeth in the images of the pictures. You also want to make sure to get that contact point. When the teeth is recorded, you want to make sure to see both of those teeth. You want to make sure to see their crowns and their apices as well. And to line it up correctly, you want to make sure to, with your tube head, the way that it is placed, you want to make sure that your tube head is placed kind of towards the ala of the nose of the tooth. So that's what you would do for your lateral and canine. So then for your centrals, you're going to want to place it right in the center of the tooth and then close it down. And those will get your two central teeth of your mouth. You want to center it central to the middle of the mouth to make sure to get both of those teeth. And in those images, you might get your lateral, just kind of like the mesials of those laterals in there as well. So the teeth recorded that are going to be there are the mesial, distal, and the apices of those teeth as well. And you also want to get, when you position your tube bed, you want to get to the tip of the nose. So then you're going to want to do the opposite side, which would be on this side, and you also place the the sensor the same way too, and you have them bite down, kind of like that. And then you'll also place your tube bed when it goes that way as well. When you get that side, it is the exact same thing as the other side. You want to make sure to get the center of the lateral of the canine and its contact point, as well as get the ala of the nose on this side as well, just so you get every single one of those angles of those teeth. So then after that, we're going to go ahead and move directly down. And when we get down to those mandibular teeth, what we're going to want to do is the same thing as that. Get the center of the lateral of the canine in its contact point. Get the tube head and place it so it's down that way as well. You want to point it a little bit more towards the chin so it goes a little bit down and you're able to see that as well. What you want to see in those images is also the distal and the lateral of the middle of the canine as well in those pictures of those images. And then we're going to move to the middle. The middle is going to kind of have the same concept as the top. You want to make sure to have both of your centrals. You want to have the mesial and the distal. You want to make sure to see those laterals as well in the image. For those, you want also to be pointed down, and the nose and the chin are also centered as well. And then we're going to move ahead and go to the other side. Straight across, which that would make our last one, and that one also has the same concept is what I wanted to say. You want to make sure to have it centered with the central incisor and its contact point. The images, what you want to see in those images is also the mesial and the distal of those central incisors, like stated before. And when you place the tube head or the PID on this as well, you want it pointed down to the chin like that. All right, so then after that, we will hop over. After we did our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we're going to go ahead and do our 7 and our 8. And for our 7 and our 8, we're going to go ahead and use this yellow tab. This yellow tab is also used for PAs, which will only get either the top arch or the bottom arch. So to do these, you're going to go ahead and you're going to place the receptor right in the middle of both we're going to start with our premolars first. So you want to go ahead and place it up just like this, and you want to be in the center of that second premolar. And in this shot, you're going to want to get both of your premolars, and you want to get the distal of the canine. It's not really necessary to get the distal of that molar, but you can as well. I mean, it won't hurt to get it or not. And then you'll go ahead and take the picture. You also, for this one, what you're going to want to do for your maxillary, you're going to want to go ahead and have it pointed down. Your PID, you want to have your PID kind of pointed down like this way, just so you can get the correct angle and you don't get any like overlapping, or you don't get any cone cuts in there, because you want to make sure to get all of that correctly. And then what you do after you take that picture, then we're going to get our molar shot, which is going to go just straight back. And on these, you're going to want your first, your second, and your third molars in this image. You want to center it right on the second molar, just to make sure that you get those get that image correctly. What you want to see in this image is the distal of the second premolar for that picture. And then for that one, you'll also have it centered, like I said, from the pupil just to the midline of that cheek. So then once we get our 7 and 8, then we're going to go ahead and do our 9 and 10. And what we're going to do is we're going to hop from our right side to our left side. And then we're going to go ahead and do our premolar shot at the bottom. And for this, you flip it. So on this way, you're up. And then when you go down, you just want to go ahead and flip it. What works on this top arch will always work for the bottom arch. So you're going to go ahead and place it. You want to place it in the center of the of your premolars as well, and you'll have them go ahead and bite down. When they bite down, you want to make sure to get that distal of the canine. And then, like I said, the molar shots aren't really necessary in this picture, but if you do get it, you get your first molar as well. And to point this, you want to point it kind of like to the corner of the eye, just to have your PID centered and aligned with the corner of that eye, or like I said, the midline of that cheek. And then we're going to go ahead and go back. We're going to go ahead and do our molar shot, and it's placed the exact same way. Just go ahead and go back. You're going to have all 3 of your teeth showing, all your 3 molars, your first, your second, and your third. And you also want to have the distal of that second premolar in that shot of the video, of the image, not the video. And then you'll go ahead and take that, and then same exact positioning. You're going to want to go ahead and get the inner corner of the eye kind of midline to the cheek, just so we don't get that that overlapping or that or those cone cuts in those pictures. So once we do that, we're going to go ahead and go straight up to our arch. We're going to go ahead and do the top of our premolars, and then once we go ahead and move to the top of those premolars, we're gonna just flip it back up straight like that. And it has the same concept as the bottom. You're gonna be in the center of those premolars. You want to get the distal of that canine, and then go ahead and take your image. And then for those premolars, has the same concept. You go ahead and point it towards down towards the pupil and the midline of the cheek, and then you go ahead and move it back. You're going to go ahead and do your molar shot, and you're going to want to get all 3 molars if possible for your first, your second, and your third. And for that one, you're going to want to get the distal of the second premolar, and you take your image. That one as well, you're going to want to get the inner corner of that eye and just the mid of the cheek. So then after that, we're going to go ahead and do it on this side as well. So you have your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we're going to go up 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then we're going to go down 13, 14. We're going to go down on this side, which would be the patient's right side, and we would go ahead and do our premolar shot. And also in the middle of those premolars, you want to make sure to get that distal of the canine at the bottom. Like I said in the past, it's the same concept when putting the central beam of the ray there. You want to make sure just to get all those apices of the teeth, since it's a PA. You want to make sure that it's pointed from the pupil to the side of the cheek. Same thing goes for all the way in the back. You want to go ahead and do the molars. Have all 3 molars showing, first, second, and third, and you're going to want to have the distal of your second premolar on there. Make sure to get the crown and the apices of the tooth as much as you can, and then you're going to want to have it pointed from the inner corner of your eye, and then just the midline of your cheek. And then after that, we are all done with this, and then we're going to go ahead and do our bite wings. And for our bite wings, it's our last one that our last series that we do at the end. So we first start with our premolars, and then we go to our molars, and then premolars into our molars. So right here, I feel like in a lot of instances, a lot of people do molars and then premolars, but I'm pretty sure by the book it says to do your premolars first and then your molars, just because when you go down to the molars, it's further back in the throat, which could make the patient gag. So first what you're going to do is you're going to place for the premolar shot, you're going to place anterior of the, you're going to place it anteriorly to the middle of the mandibular canine. And then the teeth recorded are going to be your maxillary and your mandibular, molars and premolars, and the first molar in occlusion usually. And then when you get your PID on this one, you're also going to want to have it pointed from the pupil of the eye to you want it to be centered with the occlusal plane of the tooth. And then you're going to go ahead and do your molar shot, which you would move it. Sorry, I'm not doing a very good job. This was premolar, which would be right there, and then this is the molar right there. You can see it correctly. So then for the molar shot, you're going to want to place it, and you're going to want to get the anterior edge of the middle mandibular second premolar. And when you place that, the teeth recorded are going to be your maxillary and mandibular teeth in occlusion when they occlude. And you also want to have your PID pointed down to the corner eye of the occlusal plane when you're pointing it down, just to make sure, like I said, to not get those cone cuts, to not get that overlapping. That's really important. And the same concept goes for the patient's left side. You're going to go ahead and have them bite down. You're going to have this central ray pointed down to the eye, for occlusal. And then you're going to get the same teeth recorded. You're going to go ahead and get just the front of the mandibular canine. And then you're going to have both of the teeth in occlusion. And then same thing goes for the molar shot. When you get the molar shot, you're going to go ahead and do the get obviously both teeth in the arch and occlusion. You're going to want to have the outer corner pointed to the occlusal plane again, so no overlapping, so there's no why did I almost say occlusal plane? Not occlusal plane. So you don't have that cut off, like that cone cut, in those images as well. And that concludes for the series. This was my PID that I used to show. And then these are my 3 bite wings. And that is my series of 18 pictures. Sorry for the long video.